I was born in 1937, so that makes me 82. I was born in hospital, but I came home and we had a nanny for 6 weeks. I don't really remember very much home life. The radio was on, yes, it was a big thing in our life, but I can remember we were the first house with a television because some neighbours came to us to watch the coronation on television. But they were a little square box then in a great big cabinet. I always remember we were told if an air raid warning sounded when we were cycling back, we were to knock on the nearest door because everyone had what was called a Morrison's shelter in their houses. So it did happen once or twice and we used to just be hauled in, and bombs did drop all around us. There was one actually, it dropped right opposite our house and blew all our windows out. But I remember one night a flying bomb came. They were doodlebugs and we used to have a chart on the wall. We used to put crosses every time one fell, and you could tell when they were going to drop a bomb because there'd be this reminiscent sound and then suddenly it would stop and you knew a bomb was going to drop. In fact, Judy and I used to play on the Downs. Yeah, we used to go up there and any crashed planes from the war, we used to collect memorabilia. It sounds terrible, but we found a fountain pen and an old wallet and things that the pilots that had crashed.
See, the problem was, if you wanted to play a record, you could, but on your father's radiogram. So they couldn't play their records unless Dad stood there with them. So they didn't enjoy it, neither did Dad. And then once the first record player came along with a handle on it, you take it up to your bedroom, you have all your mates around, oh, a world opened up. I mean, we made the record companies. They didn't make us, we made them, because without our machines, there's nothing to play them on. And suddenly the sales of records went like that, hundreds of % per year. Because once we started to make this thing, other people copied it. There are probably about 10 different brands. But if you go to any museum, you'll see a Dan set.
Before the war, I was 7 years of age, and you take in whatever you can as a child. When the Germans actually invaded Poland and they came into our town, for the first 4 or 5 weeks, I thought to myself, there's nothing like what they were talking in the papers before the war. German soldiers used to go into shops, Jewish shops. They bought chocolate, cigarettes, and to me it was like normal. And it was normal, nothing changed. About 5 weeks, 6 weeks, then things started changing dramatically. We could not go to school anymore. Every Jew, child, grown-ups, had to wear an armband, a sign that you are Jewish, yellow, and you had to wear it. Doesn't matter how old you are. And you didn't wear it, they shot you. That was the beginning of my introduction to a new world.
One year we went to Bournemouth and there was an actor on there who just started. I say just started, he'd been going some time, but not as famous as he turned out to be, called Bob Monkhouse. Spoke to him and he said, look, I think I can get you some work. Well, Bob Monkhouse and Dennis Goodwin had an agency and I used to go down to London to see them. Anyway, after a while I went for an audition for the BBC television and they said, OK, do your act. So I did my act. They said, we'll let you know. So it was something. Suddenly, I had a call from the BBC. The director of the show, Ernest Maxim, he used to do the Morecambe and Wise shows. But in those days, they had a show called the Black and White Minstrel Show. And he said to me, I've got a part for you. And I said, what do you mean? But he said, you do the best Jimmy Durante I've ever seen, right? He said, I want you to sing California, Here I Come, as Jimmy Durante. And I was actually appearing on television as Jimmy Durante in those days. And in fact, the performance went down very well, I'm pleased to say, that they, after about maybe a couple of months later, they called me back again to do another one with Jimmy Durante. So I did well. So when I then used to go on the variety clubs, it used to be Jerry Singer, TV's comedy impressionist.